What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today we're talking about some of the upcoming sneaker releases for the first half of July 2021. Welcome to Sit or Sell. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell down below if you haven't yet. And also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler because I drop a lot of sneaker related content over there that doesn't seem to quite make it over to the channel. So there seems to be fewer releases in the first half of July 2021 than we usually have in the first half of most other months. But the good news is the shoes that are releasing are pretty solid and are shoes that I'm pretty excited about. For those of you that are new or maybe not familiar with my Sit or Sell series, basically what we do is we take a look at all of the upcoming sneaker releases for the first half or second half of any given month. I let you know what I think about each one of these releases and whether I think each one will sell out immediately or end up sitting on shelves. And actually, on a side note, I'm thinking about changing things up a little bit and maybe adding whether I was right or wrong in previous videos or maybe possible resale prices or something like that. I know this video isn't about reselling. It's not trying to tell you guys which shoes to resell. It's more about if you're trying to grab a particular pair of sneakers, when those sneakers will drop and how hard they will be to get. But I figured, if you guys want to see some more metrics going on the screen, that's something that I can definitely do. So I'd love to know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. But with all of that being said, let's jump right into this week's Sit or Sell. So starting things off, releasing on July 1st, in honor of the upcoming Summer Olympics, we've got the Adidas Ultra Boost Metal Pack. So this pack actually seems to be a play on, or I guess a follow-up to the previous Gold Medal Pack, which released, I guess, during the last Summer Olympics, and features 3 different sneakers. Each shoe in the pack features a metallic accent on the heel of the shoe. The Gold Medal Ultra Boost features a gold metallic accent on the heel and a white prime knit upper. The Silver Metal Ultra Boost 4.0 features a silver metal accent on the heel as well as a black prime knit upper. And then the Bronze Metal Ultra Boost, which is also an Ultra Boost 4.0, features a gray and purple prime knit upper and a bronze accent on the heel. Now I gotta be honest, out of all 3 colorways that are dropping, I think I'm leaning towards the Bronze Metal, which I know is kind of weird because you'd think that you'd want to grab the Gold Medal one. At least that's what I thought with the previous pack, but this particular like pinkish, purplish, gray upper on this shoe looks really fire with this bronze accent in the heel. I think it's a very clean look, and man, I might have to grab it. Actually, I'm wondering if all of these shoes got made in the end of like 2019 in preparation for the 2020 Summer Olympics, and then when COVID went down, they had to get pushed. I don't know what happened. Maybe that's why they're Ultra Boost 4.0s and not Ultra Boost 6.0s. Who knows? It's just kind of an interesting thought. But as far as whether I think each one of these colorways will sell out or sit on shelves, unfortunately, Ultra Boosts just don't have the hype that they used to, and they haven't really even been hyping up this collection that much. So for that reason, I'm gonna give all 3 of these colorways a sit. Also dropping on July 1st, we've got the New Balance Kawaii Signature New Money. So this colorway is inspired by the $100 bill, and because of that, it comes in gray tones with gold accents. And you know what? As far as Kawaii colorways go, this one is money. I should have thought about that before I said it. Seriously though, I think this is my favorite Kawaii signature colorway. It's just super clean, it's super subtle, it kind of has some like Statue of Liberty vibes to it. I don't know, I'm into it. It's funny because I was actually just wearing a pair of Kawaii signatures right before I started filming this video. An awesome pair of sneakers, a great ball shoe, and surprisingly comfortable just for day-to-day wear. But as great as this shoe and this colorway is, I just don't think the hype is there right now, so because of that, I'm gonna give this shoe a sit. And then finally, rounding off July 1st, we've got the women's Air Jordan 6 gold hoops. So the inspiration behind this shoe is Michael Jordan's gold earrings. I know, it's kind of like a reach. I feel like Jordan Brand just kind of like hit all the different inspirations they can possibly hit. Stop trying to tie it to Michael Jordan. I realize you're Jordans, but you've been doing this for 35 years at this point. You can get inspired by something else. I don't know. But this Air Jordan 6 comes in a white leather upper with very subtle pink accents on the midsole, and of course, a gold hoop earring style accent on the laces. Very weird touch, but I get it based on the inspiration. I've got to say, I think this colorway is actually really fresh. I think the white with the pink together looks really, really clean. Unfortunately, it's a women's only colorway, so I probably won't be able to grab it. And to be honest, those gold hoop ring accent things on the laces kind of make me not like it as much, but to be honest, you could probably pull those off, and if I did buy a pair of these, that's probably what I'd end up doing. But seriously, I think this colorway is really, really clean, and I wouldn't mind like a white and very light pink Jordan 6, or really any other Jordan in men's sizing, because it's a nice color combination. Especially now in the summer, like it's a great summer color combination. I don't know. I'd really like to grab a pair of these if they didn't have the gold rings, if they're in my size, and maybe if they were on a different silhouette, so I don't really want this shoe. All that said, it's a great looking sneaker, and it's definitely something that I think a lot of people are excited for, so for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sell. Then moving on to July 2nd, we've got the Diana Taurasi Nike LeBron 18 La Cabra. So this colorway is inspired by Diana Taurasi's professional basketball career and all her achievements throughout her years playing basketball. The sneaker itself comes in a primarily black upper, accented by tan on the midsole and on the heel, as well as some red text that sort of overlays the heel portion. I've got to say, it's a pretty nice looking pair of LeBron 18s, and I think it's a great collaboration. Now, is this a pair though that people will run out to the store to grab? I'm not 100% sure, and so for that reason, I'm gonna give this shoe a sit. Next up, also dropping on the 2nd, we've got 3 different colorways of the Jordan Delta 2. The 3 colorways include the cerulean colorway, the white colorway, and the women's regal pink colorway. And again, I think this women's pink colorway is by far the best colorway. The cerulean blue colorway isn't bad, but it's a little bit too much. The white colorway is too plain, and the pink colorway is like the perfect amount of subtlety, but also some color variation. I think it's the best one. Now, these shoes are obviously lifestyle Jordan models that are more recent releases, and they also feature full-length React midsoles. But in my opinion, while I think these are all decent looking sneakers, they're all, I'm sure, very comfortable on foot, they're not that exciting and they're not something that I would ever really see myself picking up. So because of that, and also because I'm assuming that most other people feel a very similar way, I'm gonna give all 3 of these colorways a sit. But who knows, maybe all 3 of these colorways will sell out. I'm not sure, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Continuing on to July 3rd, we've got a very highly anticipated release for a lot of people, and that's the Air Jordan 4 Tech White. So this shoe definitely has like a white cement vibe to it. It's obviously a little bit different. It doesn't really feature any black accents like that shoe does, but it definitely has a similar light colored Air Jordan 4 vibe to it. I think my favorite part of this colorway is the splatter print midsole, which is also my favorite part of the white cement colorway, but I just don't think it pops as much as that shoe, so I don't like this shoe as much, but I still don't think it's a bad colorway, and I still think it's gonna be a very popular shoe, especially since Air Jordan 4s just seem to be at like the peak of their popularity right now. In addition to the splatter print midsole, you've also got a white leather upper, a white heel tab, and a white outsole. I actually bought a pair in Goat a little while ago to give you guys an early review, but it still hasn't shown up yet, and I don't think it's showing up until after the shoe releases, so sucks. Regardless, I still think it's an awesome sneaker. It's definitely going to be a very popular release, and I definitely think the Air Jordan 4 Tech White will sell out. Continuing on to July 5th, we've got the Adidas Yeezy Boost 700 MNVN Blue Tint. So as far as I can tell right now, this is the only Yeezy sneaker dropping in the first half of the month. However, there is a chance that we might get some foam runners, but the release dates of those shoes haven't actually been announced, at least at the time of filming this video. And unfortunately, it's not that exciting. It's a light blue version of the MNVN 700s. It's not a 350, it's not even a 700 V1, it's the MNVNs, which when they first released were pretty popular because people had been waiting for them to come out because they had been teased for like 2 years. But now we've had the MNVNs for a long time, and it's just one of those shoes that's kind of forgettable. It's not a bad sneaker by any stretch of the imagination, it's just not that exciting, and because it's got this giant 700 printed on the side, it's pretty difficult to rock with too many things. That said though, the blue tint colorway is pretty solid, and I've been doing a lot of Pantone research on 2022 colors because of our 2022 Apothecary sock line that I'm currently working on, and I've got to say that shade of blue is very 2022. So if you grab this shoe, hey, you're gonna be like completely in style next year. All that said though, it's not a bad looking pair of sneakers. It's still a pair of Yeezys, and for that reason, I definitely think this sneaker will sell out. Then moving on to July 7th, we've got the women's Nike Air Max Furiosa. I actually really love this sneaker. For me, this is one of the most exciting Air Maxes to come out in a little while. I think it's probably one of the best Air Maxes to drop this year. Now, unfortunately, it's only coming in women's sizes, and I think it's just a women's shoe in general. So because of that, I'm probably never gonna be able to get a pair because I think the higher sizes, like size 9s, at least in men's, are pretty difficult to get. It's definitely a very nice looking shoe. It comes in silvers and blacks, at least on this colorway. It's got a double stacked air unit on the heel, as well as an interesting cut through, I guess, in the midsole that you can actually see all the way through. That's really what drew me into the sneaker, was that little weird hit right there in the center. I don't know why they did that, but I love it. I don't know, I loved it on the Air Jordans that had that too, like the 34s, 35s. Crap, I don't even know which one we're on right now. Actually, I think it was also on the 34s as well. But back to these Air Maxes, it's a very cool looking pair of sneakers. I love the sort of futuristic aesthetic. I love all the craziness going on in the upper. And honestly, I think because this is a newer silhouette and because it's probably going to be pretty popular, at least from what I've seen online, I think this shoe might sell out. Moving on to July 8th, we've got 2 different colorways of Polka Dot Nike Air Max 90s. So the 2 colorways of the shoe that are dropping are the shimmer polka dot colorway, which is kind of like a light tan color, and then the white polka dot colorway, which is just a white Air Max 90 with some polka dots on it. I'm gonna be honest, I think these shoes are pretty whack. You know what, with the right fit, I think these shoes could definitely pop, but for me, this is not an everyday shoe. This is not the kind of shoe you can throw on and go to the store. I mean, you could, and people probably wouldn't look twice because the polka dots aren't that prominent, but at the same time, I don't know, I wouldn't spend probably what, 150? How much are these? I was exactly right, they're 150. I wouldn't spend $150 on these. And it's frustrating too because this shimmer colorway is actually really clean. Without the polka dots, it would be very, very fresh, but it's got polka dots and it's a no-go for me. And honestly, I think not many people are gonna be into this design, so for that reason, I'm giving both of these polka dot Air Max 90s a sit. Next up, also on the 8th, we've got a Jordan Why Not 0.4 in a multicolor colorway. So this shoe comes in a primarily white makeup with some pink and orange accents. It's definitely a summer themed sneaker. And unfortunately, because Russell Westbrook is out at this point, and I mean, so are the Sixers, that's why Iverson's jersey's down. I'm not disrespecting it, it's right over there. Hold on. You guys can see it, it's right there. You guys can chill. Oh man, I really hope I didn't just mess up my entire camera setup for the rest of the video. I think I might have, but just had to show you guys it's still there. I just wanted to switch things up because Sixers aren't in it anymore. It's all about the Ravens at this point, so I'll switch it back at some point. It's not a big deal. Just bummed. At least Embiid was killing it and Seth Curry, but there were some other players who just were having some issues. What were we talking about again? Oh, the 0.4s. It's a 0.4. It's fine. If you like it, grab it. If you don't, that's fine too. You probably can find it on sale in a couple months because I don't think this shoe is selling out, so I'm gonna give this shoe a sit. And then rounding off July 8th, we've got the women's Nike Dunk Low in laser orange. I've got to say, this is a super clean colorway. I love this bright yellow, or I guess laser orange look. It's very summer, it's very in right now. It's also very 2022. Again, I think the colors of 2022 are like yellow and gray. I don't remember exactly what they were called. Man, I'm color geeking right now. I don't know what's going on. Seriously though, this is a fire pair of sneakers. It is a women's only release, so it's not going to release in like the super large sizes, but you know what, this is a shoe that I'm still gonna go for. Even if I can't grab it for myself, I'm gonna try and grab it for the $20 sneaker collection video, which actually I should plug because that's like my favorite thing I'm doing on the channel right now. Basically, I've started an entire series where I start out with $20 and I'm trying to create an entire sneaker collection by buying and selling shoes at like Goodwills and Ross's and Marshalls, and slowly building up a sneaker collection till eventually I can grab something like a pair of Nike Air Mags or some Yeezy 2s. It's seriously a blast. We're like 3 episodes in. If you guys would like to check that out, there will be a link to the playlist in the description below and above. That being said though, this is an awesome colorway, and because it's a pair of Nike Dunks, I definitely think the women's Nike Dunk Low Laser Oranges will sell out. Continuing on to July 10th, we've got a re-release of one of the most popular LeBron sneakers of all time, and that's the Nike LeBron 8 South Beach. For LeBron collectors, this shoe is going to be high on your list. If you don't already have it, which you probably don't, it's a shoe that I think you definitely should pick up because, I mean, I don't know how limited it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be too crazy limited, but it's definitely a shoe that has a lot of history, and the colorway itself is fire. This shoe is obviously very Miami themed. You've got a teal color on the upper, accented by black and pink on the laces. And again, this is one of the classics. I would say the hype for this shoe, at least at the time, was similar to the hype that the Kobe Grinches had when they first released. But I would actually love to know your thoughts on this sneaker in the comment section down below and what your favorite pair of LeBrons is. Mine might be this pair. Oh, and I definitely think the Nike LeBron 8 South Beaches will sell out. After that, also releasing on the 10th, we've got another highly anticipated sneaker, and that's the Air Jordan 3 Racer Blue. So this is another shoe that I ordered on GOAT. Hopefully it'll get in before the release. GOAT's usually pretty good about that stuff. I was actually really surprised when the Tech Whites took as long as they did, or are taking as long as they did. It's a great looking pair of sneakers. It comes with a primarily white leather upper. It features racer blue accents throughout, and of course, elephant print on the heel and on the toe. Now the one thing about the elephant print on this sneaker is the fact that it's not your standard elephant print. Instead, the lines on the elephant print are very thick and wide. You've also got some dark grays around the heel and the toe. It's not a bad looking pair of sneakers, but I would have preferred standard elephant print on this shoe. But at the end of the day though, it is still an Air Jordan 3. Air Jordan 3s are incredibly popular and one of my favorite Jordan silhouettes, and I definitely think there's enough hype for this shoe, so no matter how many pairs they create, they all will sell out. Next up, on July 13th, we've got 2 different Nike Ispa Flo 2020s dropping. So the 2 colorways that are releasing are the Desert Sand colorway, which comes in reds, browns, and yellowish colors, and then you've also got the Pure Platinum colorway, which comes in grays, blacks, and whites. Both of these shoes have a trail aesthetic to them, and they both feature a foam midsole, which at first I thought was React, but after reading some of the Nike blurbs about them, I don't think it is. I think it's just some kind of standard foam. But I do have to say, I really like the way that these sneakers look. I love the utilitarian feel, the sort of trail aesthetic that I mentioned earlier. It's a nice look, and they look a lot like the Overreacts, and the Overreacts have been selling out pretty consistently, so I wouldn't be surprised if these sold out. Then releasing on July 14th, we've got the USPS Nike Air Force 1 Postal Ghost. So this shoe has a wild story behind it. Originally, it was releasing as just a Nike sneaker with branding that looked similar to the post office's branding, but not exactly. But then apparently the post office sued Nike or got mad at Nike or something happened. Maybe they filed a complaint, and now it's officially a post office collaboration, even though it doesn't actually feature any post office branding. And to be honest, I think that's a good thing. I think Nike was overstepping their bounds a little bit, and I think they needed to be put in check. And one of the only organizations that can do that is the United States Postal Service. So this shoe comes with an upper that looks a lot like a USPS Priority Mail package. It's got a sticker on the heel that looks a lot like a Priority Mail sticker. Apparently the original inspiration behind this shoe was the fact that resellers or people who are reselling their sneakers sent them through the post office. Interesting inspiration. It's not the most inspired thing in the world, but it's better than that shipping freight pair of Air Jordan 1s from like 2 years ago. What the hell was that? This shoe, it's not amazing, but it's something that I would consider picking up just because of the story behind the release. I think that's the most interesting part of this sneaker. Actually, the more that I look at this shoe, the more that I'm thinking that maybe the material that's covering the upper of the shoe is actually removable. So now I feel like I definitely have to grab a pair so I can give you guys a review and show what's underneath the upper, if there is actually anything underneath the upper. So make sure to let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would like to see that review. All that said, it's not a bad looking pair of sneakers. It's kind of weird, but it's not bad. Will it sell out? I'm not 100% sure. I think if it had just released on its own, probably not. But with all the craziness going on around the release, I think that there is some potential for it to sell. So for that reason, I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to give this shoe a sell. And then finally, the last shoe that I'm going to cover in today's video is releasing on July 17th, and that's the Air Jordan 1 High Electro Orange. So some people have been calling this shoe the Air Jordan 1 Shattered Backboard 4.0, and I can see where that's coming from. It's got that black toe look with some orange accents around the ankle and on the outsole of the shoe. But I don't know, it's just not as clean as any of those shoes. I would take any of those releases, even the weird patent leather one, over this shoe. This one is kind of a miss in my opinion. I will say that the official images of this shoe do make it look better than it did in the leaks, which is always the case, but it's still not enough for me to actually want to go out and buy this shoe. I might grab it for a review, but that's the extent of it. It's not a shoe that I'll be keeping. I feel like I'm really hating on this shoe. It's not a bad shoe, I shouldn't be hating on it, but at the same time, it's an Air Jordan 1. Those are my favorite shoes of all time. I have very high standards when it comes to that sneaker, and when a colorway like this comes out that's kind of like, I'm not too stoked on it, especially when it could have been an amazing colorway and it's just not quite there. It's close, but it's not there. Regardless though, this is still an Air Jordan 1. It's still a decent colorway, even though it's not my favorite. And at the end of the day, Air Jordan 1s are as hot as ever, so for that reason, this shoe will definitely sell. But with that, we pretty much wrap up the entire sit or sell video for the first half of July 2021. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on all of these releases and also whether you'd like to see some new metrics in sit or sell videos, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.